won Oscars, BAFTA awards. He's even made a little bit of money, he told me, creating characters like Rhubarb the dog and Henry's cat. It's Bob Godfrey. Welcome, Bob. How did you first get into this wonderful, magical world of animation?
I started as a background artist, and then when I saw that people were moving about all over my scenery, I used to have a very dim view of that. So I became a foreground artist. Anyway.
I never looked back. For you, what's the magic of it?
Oh, the magic is that you can get right inside a character, and I mean, we only really deal in the impossible. You know, if it's possible, let the live-action boys do it, or the television boys do it. I mean, we deal in miracles, you see. It's got to be impossible before we take it on.
Right, yes, I suppose the sky's the limit, isn't it?
Yeah, the sky's the limit. Yes, there's absolutely no limitations at all. It's rather scary.
Now, at the very beginning of this programme, we saw a picture of you, for some weird reason, saying A, E, I, O, U. I guess that was something to do with animation, but what's the next step from that?
Well, it's called lip synchronization, where we actually synchronize to the voice on the track, and we have to have these basic mouth movements, and there I put an A and an E. Is like then I put the man in profile. It's easier to demonstrate the mouth. I, O becomes O, and then U is there. See, or you get the U down there when the mouth sort of goes into a sort of nice position like that, and then we've got F, where the teeth come out over the top. Chris Rabbit mouth, and then the celebrated L, which is sort of the teeth like that, and the tongue actually sort of love, you see. So that's the L mouth. So they are the basic mouth positions.
Right. And obviously the next stage is to draw lots and lots of pictures which together make a continuous flow of movement. Now we've got a clip from one of your marvellous do-it-yourself animation shows where you bravely, I thought, blew the gaff on the whole subject. You told everybody how films are made, and this is a very nice moment from there.
I've done my drawings. I'm now going to shoot them on the camera. Now, how many exposures are we going to give this frame? While we consult our camera sheet, I think we're going to give this first drawing. In fact, we're going to do all the drawings in this sequence, 2 frames each. Right? Boom, boom. Take it off, put it over there. Be nice and methodical, you know. Now, tick off the frames that you've taken. Happy is the man who has a frame counter, for he knoweth his place in the film. Okay? Right. Number 2 drawing on. Boom, boom. Simple, you see? And with a bit of luck, you might get a result, something like this.
As Rhubarb reached the shade, he stood for a while, as all great dogs do before embarking up the wrong tree. Climbing gingerly into the seat of the swing, Rhubarb checked all his equipment.
Flaps, spike, springs. All okay.
Quietly at first, Rhubarb started to make the noise of the holiday jets that fly over the garden on sunny days, the sound he'd perfected during the night. As the sound got louder, he gently lifted his legs off the ground.
Springs up! We have lift off!
Shouted Rhubarb in a muffled tone from under his huge yellow spike.
This is a great step for dog kind.
And as the wind whistled past his eyes and his little arms flapped with fury, Rhubarb felt himself being lifted higher and higher into the world beyond the 4 paws of dog. Rhubarb was so excited that he was the first dog ever to enter into flight, that he forgot to flap his cardboard wings. And so with the piercing scream of a jet changing into the screaming pierce of a dog, he plunged towards the garden. And his big yellow spike plonked into the green turf and into rubber band land. An hour later, poor Rhubarb was still furious as all the birds for miles about came bouncing along on their springs. And even Custard, the big fat cat from next door, came to laugh. Rhubarb was stuck. Birds have beaks, and Rhubarb had a spike. And a beak is a beak, and a spike is a spike.
So where did the character come from?
Well, he's the cat belonging to a man Stan and I did in Henry 9 till 5, and this is his cat.
Right. Is it based on any particular cat that you know
Well,
of?
it's sort of, I've got a cat and Stan's got a cat, we like cats. And he's very feline, actually. I mean, he's very lazy. He sits in front of the telly all day. And he loves eating all the time.
This is Henry's cat, the yellow one.
Yes,
on the
he's a
left,
pretty
right.
sort of laid-back sort of character.
Unusual being yellow.
Yes, he's in yellow, and of course old Chris there's blue with the buck teeth.
You do the voices for this
Yes, I
program,
do the voices, and it's a heck of a lot of voices. I'd sort of borrowed it from, then all the voices are borrowed from somewhere or the other. I borrowed it from Richard Bryce, who did Custard in you know, Rhubarb and Custard, the horrible big pink cat next door. And he had this and so I thought that's the way a cat would talk, really.
Is this part of your creative process for making Henry's cat? You have to fill in every one with colour each time.
Oh yes, yeah, they have to be coloured in, and maybe the artist, the animator, wouldn't do it. It goes away to somebody else who colours it in. But they all have to be coloured, and backgrounds have to be drawn every time.
How long does it take to make each programme?
About 3 weeks for a 5-minuter and 9 weeks for a 15-minuter.
That's with how many people working at the same time?
About 3 animators and various assistants cutting out and sticking down, and then we've got editors and all the other people who normally go into filmmaking. So we have, you know, quite a little team working away.
We've got a wonderful bit of Henry's Cat coming up in which he decides to enter a painting competition. I know you've brought some of the bits with you, the actual artwork that was part of the creative process.
Yes.
Where does it all start?
Well, it starts on the storyboard here, you see, and that particular section is here. Where he's put all the glasses on in one last attempt to see the world as artists see the world. So he puts all these glasses on, and then, of course, he can't see anything. He falls over the Bill Poster's bucket. And I've got the progression of animation here, you see. I would put it on these peg barbers, I suppose, to save time. I can sort of... there is a walk cycle of Henry's Cat going along. You'll notice there's no... He walks on the spot like Marcel Marceau, you know, there's no background moving along. So there he is putting all the glasses on, and he goes off on his walk, and then he stumbles and falls into the Bill Poster's bucket. So that is... it takes those drawings to just make him walk along.
That's a lot of work for
just
very, very few seconds. Yeah. I mean, that little pile represents about 2 seconds of screen time or something.
That's right, it takes about an afternoon to do it.
Marvellous. But the result
the fun of seeing it on the video scanner is great.
Magic. Yeah. Let's see it now.
He saw a poster being put up advertising a painting exhibition at the local gallery. Then he remembered the artists in the park and realised why they had been there. They had been working for the exhibition, of course.
Perhaps I should go along and learn something,
thought Henry's Cat. In one last attempt to see the world differently, he put on all his spectacles at once and set off for the gallery. And what do you think he saw? Absolutely nothing. But he did knock over a Bill Poster's bucket, which had been left there while the Bill Poster had gone for a cup of tea. He slipped into the paste, fell into all the posters, and got covered all over with paper. Well, he was so exhausted from struggling, he leaned back against the wall to take a rest. But when he tried to move again, he discovered he was completely stuck.
Oh, here comes some help,
thought Henry's Cat. But was it? No, it was the painters from the park bringing their work to the exhibition. They were led by a famous French artist.
What is this?
He said, looking Henry's Cat up and down.
It is a new style. We use the paintbrush and the canvas, but who is the paintbrush and the canvas? C'est magnifique!
And they all stood back and watched Henry's Cat struggle to free himself.
Ah, you give the painting life,
said the famous French artist.
C'est la vie.
But it needs developing, of course. And with that, he kissed Henry's Cat on both cheeks and led the other artists into the gallery.
Well, thought Henry's Cat, I may not have much of a style, but I guess I'm stuck with it.
He's lovely, Henry's Cat. Well, thank you very much. Bob, are we going to see more programmes?
Oh, yes, we've got 6 15-minuters coming up in the new year.
Fabulous.
And
Well,
we've got the old series coming on again on Saturday Morning Superstore, so